Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. Coming up, Knife Ship Free releases a new batch of Copis Designs Elvias. You know, I love that knife. Got my random knife giveaway of a QSP Locust, courtesy of This Old Sword Blade Reviews. And then one knife for the rest of your life. I want to find out from you all what that one knife would be if that's all you were allowed to have. It can only be one. And yeah, I've thought about it, of course, and my answer fluctuates and changes and et cetera, et cetera. But tonight I have my idea of what that answer would be tonight. Hollywood Tactical, good to see you here. My friend is performing her stand-up routine tonight, so unfortunately can't make it. Best my one knife is still the Tops Skull Crusher X SXB. I love that. That is such a cool knife. It's like a big dramatic tracker. It's like if they made tracker knives for the 300 Spartans. That's what it would look like. We'll have an awesome time at your stand-up comedy show. That sounds fun. I hope you have a lot of laughs and not clapter, where you're like, oh, that's funny, but real erupting laughter. Let it erupt. Deanna Page, good to see you here, sir. Stab, chow, and slice that button. Stab, chop, and slice that button, says Dion. Thank you, Dion. Always good to have you with us. This Old Sword Blade Reviews, good to have you here, Dave. We're giving away that QSP Locust you gave us a while ago. Now, someone else won that a long time ago and never claimed it, so it's back on the block before we get to this new box. He says, greetings, Blade Junkies, Bob and Jim. Are we feeling sharp? And he's got the glasses. Yeah, of course we're feeling sharp. Robert Douglas, good to have you here, Robert. Hey, Bob and all, good to have you here, Robert. Kepmuk, good to have you here. Also, Kepmuk Nesshart. I was thinking about your name the other night because I was looking at Kephart Blades. I was looking at some LT Wright knives. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Happy Thursday Night Knives. Now, if you know me, Kepharts are not exactly but that's the thing about knives. That's the thing about any sort of hobby like this. You can find yourself being fascinated by Kepharts, which, in my estimation, are the most, if you were to make a symbol for a door, like you have men and women on bathroom doors, but this symbol was of a knife, it would be a Kephart. They're so simple and they're really beautiful. And I found myself looking at them the other night, and and then I started looking at prices, and I've like, I have more daggers to buy before I do this. But it is cool to have a hobby like knives where you can just go down any corridor and it's interesting. Lone Wolf, good to have you here, Lone Wolf. Jumpin' Junkies, it's Thursday night, evening all. Yes, it is the start of the weekend. This is the Locust. This is the knife we'll be giving away. This is a cool piece here. Will B, Bob, Jim, Junkies, good to have you here, Will. Hey there, he says, hope everyone is doing well this Thursday evening. Let me show you this real quick. Not to jump the gun here, Jim, but I want to show this off because it's in my hand and it is so cool. Look at this QSP knife. QSP makes a lot of really great knives. And this one kind of, I feel like, came in under the radar, a kind of a glorious, interesting, different, but very useful and utilitarian design. And then we didn't hear much about it. And I suspect it's because that blade is a good 3.8 inches long or so. It's a big blade. That's VG10. And then you have micarta shaped like the body of a locust, if you didn't get it. And segment, it looks like it's segmented like the thorax of a locust. But that curve down here fits the fingers really well, fits the hand beautifully. So nice to hold and to use, to have and to hold. And then if you get in a nasty fight and you have to pull out this knife, you can reverse it so that you're going against the stop pin and not the lock. And also you have a very nice Pikal style knife, and then that curve nestles into the palm of your hand. So this is just a very, very cool knife. Any way you slice it, whether you're actually using it like a normal person or you're nerding out like me and pretending you're Jason Bourne. The QSP Locust could be the knife for you. Also, sculpted and anodized titanium pocket clip, and just overall a beautiful knife. So you can win that tonight just by entering hashtag knife in the comments. And then a little while later, I will have Jim select the time. He keeps me on the straight and narrow. We will choose someone from the comments to win that knife. And then you will send me your address and I will send it to you. Cheeto Bandito, good to see you here. Hello, people, he says. Hello. Like your car, like your avatar. Bob, was up? So Robert, Bob Doug, was up? Robert Douglas says, being a good lad. Well, that's good to hear. Bob Doug, that's like when I was, I'm Robert Lawrence, and when I was little, I thought it'd be cool to be called Bobby Larry, and it just did not catch on. I guess my family was not a Bobby Larry family, so that didn't happen. Joseph S., good to see you here, Joseph. Hello, good evening, he says. Good evening to you, sir. Mike Flamian. Hey, Mike Flamian, good to have you. Hey, well, no, that was in the background. I'll leave that in the background. We'll talk about it a little later. Robert Brancheski, good to have you with us, sir. Evening, everyone, he says. Evening to you. And as I'm greeting you all as you walk in the door, Josh, 33025, is that your zip code? He says, hello, Josh. Hello to you, sir. Groundfog is with us. Groundfog, always a pleasure, Groundfog. And he's always clapping, which I find really charming. I just wanted to show this this knife because I did my video on it and I now have to send it back to its rightful owner. Byron Kennedy, always a pleasure, Byron. Howdy, Bob. Jim, Junkies. Togata. Oh, he's got the best tech Togata. Cheeto will be. What am I talking about? Sorry, my bad. He's just saying hello to everyone. Nick EDC, good to see you here, Nick. Hey, everyone. Bob and Jim, he says. Hello, sir. So this is a CM design. Oh, have a knife day. Good evening, junkies. Have a knife day. Coming from the Black Bowie Festival. Is that right? In Arkansas. I know he's been at the Bowie Festival for the past, I guess maybe it was during the weekend. Can't wait to see more and see what you got from there, because I'm sure you got something cool. Anyway, this is the Best Tech Tonic. I've had this on loan from Colin Maison-Pierre, the designer, CM Designs. And this is not a production with Lefty, Kev of Lefty EDC. This is one of his CM Designs designs with Best Tech, and it is an incredible gentleman's knife. I really, really love it. That blade is just under 3 inches, or just about 3 inches, I guess I should say. M390, beautiful, beautiful shape and tip to that blade. Awesome handle, and then it's got that very innovative backlock where the ceramic ball bearing is the only thing making contact with the back of the blade. So very cool. Hero Sticks, good to see you here. Hero Sticks, evening and cheers all, he says. Cheers to you. Anyway, this has to go back to Colin. Colin, thank you so much for this loaner. It's been very cool. I was putting off doing the video, and now that time has come. Bob, you should get a Kephart, he says. Well, which one? Who? Oddly enough, I think it was K-Bar. Some brand that was slightly unexpected made a really nice looking Kephart in the last couple of years. But which one should I get? Can I get it with a swedge or a sharpened top? Of course, I'm just kidding. Knife humor. Will B says, I like that Warncliffe on that, but the fixed blade under it. But I like the fixed blade under it. Gee, what are you talking about? Berg Knife, good to see you here, Berg Knife. Hello, junkies, he says. Hello to you, sir. I will be showing that off shortly. That's one that I got from Scruggs. I didn't get it from him, but his video of it. If you know Legion Tactical Cutlery, very fun and interesting channel on YouTube. He does a lot of big knives. For instance, I got hip to this brand from him, Kudaman. Got this Bowie after I saw him feature it on his channel. It's a Spanish company, and this blade is awesome. Anyway, I saw that knife there that I'm going to show off in a minute on his channel, and yeah, it's really cool. Keith, good to see you here, Keith. The Knife Freak says, good evening, Bob. Hello, you crazy knife nuts. Hope everyone is having a great evening. I remember your picture from today. It was lunch on some sort of unstable surface. Uh, Blade-tastic Knives. Good to see you here, Steve. I love that avatar with the, what is that? Twin Ganuntings you're swinging around there. That's pretty sweet. Steve, you should follow Steve Price on Instagram. He's got some really cool, puts up a lot of cool videos of him cutting and doing different draws and practices. He's got a sweet blade collection, it looks like. So good to have you here, Steve. Ground Fog, I thought it was a hand wave. Emojis are hard. Oh, a hand wave. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. The clapter, the hand wave. I'm with you. From now on, I'll just be like, "What's up, man?" Instead of like, "Hey, good to see you." Like, stop clapping. I'm not 3 years old. Have a Knife Day says James Black Bowie Heritage Festival. So that's where he was. And if you're following Have a Knife Day, which you should, man, he's got some super sweet Bowies and classic combat knives, many of them Bowie inspired. So yeah, at the James Black Bowie Heritage Festival. That's pretty cool. Robert Brancheski says, one knife as a professional chef, I'd say a Sugimoto cleaver. As a knife guy, a SOG Tiger Shark. I like that. That's kind of a deep cut, and I totally approve. I've actually been lamenting the fact that I never got one of those, and it was Have a Knife Day that actually made me feel that way, because I guess maybe about a year ago, Have a Knife Day, you were getting, you got a couple of SOG Tiger Sharks, and you were on that SOG website that you hit me to, where this dude just sells a bunch of classic SOGs, and they had a bunch of Tiger Sharks, and oh yeah, they're so cool. Jay McConnell, good. Excuse me. Whew. Jay McConnell, good to see you here. Evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Jay McConnell will be, and several others have the Nova one coming. I was just speaking with Matt Chase today. All is going well. He has confirmed August. I was hoping that it would be earlier than that, but he will have them all done in August. We might drip them out. We shall see. Sharp and Stabby, good to see you here, Sharp and Stabby. Man, I don't care if it's a butter knife. A bonus knife is always a good thing. Thanks, Bobby D and Dave, for the donation. If I remember correctly, #knife. That's right, sir. This could be yours, Sharp and Stabby. And this indeed is both Sharp and Stabby. Now, I fear I may have put a touch of patina on that very nice micarta, because I have been, I was like, I could give this away, or no one knows that it didn't get given away because it got given away publicly. They don't know it never got sent. I'm just kidding. But flipping this thing over and over, this is a great knife, and if I patinaed it, I apologize, but I am not. I can't tell. Weston Probst, good to have you here, Weston. Ethan Becker made a Kephart for K-Bar, I believe. That's right, and I think it had walnut grips. It was a very attractive looking Kephart, and let's be real. If I'm going to get something like a Kephart, which does not visually appeal on the profile, I will get it with a material like a handle that appeals on that level. Now, as I get older, more mature, perhaps that Kephart shape becomes more and more appealing. It is very classic, clean, simple, probably extremely useful. So that in and of itself makes it better looking. Kind of like when you meet that special someone who really makes you laugh, and suddenly you don't care so much about, the man hands or the giant nose or whatever it is. This old sword says, always shopping while watching. I love that. What are you getting? Just ordered the Copus Elvia. Yes. Now I'm curious, Dave. I had a little flash a moment ago where I was like, maybe I should get one of the ones with the scooped back. But I was like, I came to my senses. No, I don't need one this moment. I'll probably see them at Blade Show. Maybe I'll get one there. Though I don't think this year I'll be as disciplined as last year, because I haven't spent as much money leading up to Blade Show. So I think I will indulge in a few more knives, but I'm pretty sure they will be fixed blade carry knives that I can carry in appendix, because I'm really excited about appendix carry right now. Have a Knife Day says, I'm going to another knife show in Solvang, Solvang, California this Saturday. That sounds awesome. California, what a beautiful place. Yes, Sog. Couldn't agree more. That double peaked Bowie shape. I love that. Mac V Sog. Keith says, my work truck does not for a photo studio. I disagree. I like it a lot. I like it because I like seeing people. It's also like Scab. You see him during his work day. I like that. Robert Douglas says, I'm missing folk. Oh, hey to all, he says. So Robert says, hello to one and all. All that being said, Have a Knife Day says, since we are going to Blade Show East, I'll be looking forward to a junkie meet and greet. Yes, indeed. I will too. James Moore, good to see you here, James. Hey, all, Thursday Night Knives and NFL Draft. Plenty of entertainment tonight. How do we take advantage of that? Maybe next year. Have a Knife Day says, Soul Vang. Well, thank you, man. Let's see. Cheeto Bandito says, what show is that Knife Day? Wait, what show is that Knife Day? I mean, I'm not sure what you mean. What show is that? Oh, okay. I've been to Solvang for. Okay. What day is that knife show? I got you. Okay, so maybe you Californians can make a connection and find out where that is. How cool. Just knife shows. Love it. Professor EDC, good to have you here. Bob, Jim, fellow junkies. Hope everyone is doing well. We are doing well. Now, all of that said, time for a pocket check. Today, I had an automatic on me. I've been thinking of automatics and kind of into them lately. And today I grabbed the old Rockeye. This was from the very first run of ProTech Rockeyes based on the custom Les George folder, the Rockeye, and which spawned the VSEP, which was my favorite knife for a long time. Before I could ever get my hands on one of these, I was able to get this. So, and this is a ProTech. It's just awesome. CPM D2. What year was this? Maybe, I think I was in this house. Within the last 10 years, this came out. This was, and then they did the small ones, and then they did the SBR fixed blades and so on. But there was some space between this first run and then that second run and the others. So anyway, just a beautiful knife. Feels so good in hand. And the power of the kick of these knives is awesome. What's that say there? Limited first run 209 of 400. That's cool. I forget that this was numbered. 209 of 400, and just a beautiful classic sleek design and that feel. I love the feel of that aluminum. So I had that in my pocket. I'll put this away. What a great knife. What a great knife. I remember when this came out, people were calling it the Sebenza killer. And I was like, I had no dog in the race at that point, but I've always kind of thought I've just liked the VSEP just a skosh more, and always kind of wanted it to be that. Okay, next up in my pocket, also getting probably the most use today, was the Jack Wolf Knives Big Bro Jack, and I've been just loving the hell out of this knife. This is kind of what I think of as a classic American jackknife. It is a simple neutral sleeve board handle, and a big one at that, and then a nearly 3-inch bladed full height S90V hollow ground clip point blade. It doesn't get more, to me, American jackknife than that here. I just so you can hear it. Love it. Love this thing. So this gets a lot of food and fruit action. This also got a lot of labels at certain times in our quarter. I will I will have a whole bunch of new manila folders, and I like to label them with those brother label makers, but sometimes I have to trim them. This did that kind of work today, as well as apple work. I never bite straight into an apple because of some fake teeth that I happen to have. Okay, so that was in my front left pocket, and it has been patinaing nicely. That canvas micarta. That canvas micarta is the last of the canvas micarta. Let me show you real quickly. And what I mean by that is Jack Wolf Knives is going all carbon fiber from here on out. And this was the last one. Here it is with the little bro. The same knife scaled down or vice versa. And that is a neutral sleeve board handle with a clip point blade, much like the classic number 15 boys knife from GEC. And this is probably my favorite slip joint of all time. This one in particular in my hand. That's also a very nice, you got a nice, what do you call that? Spay blade right there. But just about the same size as the little bro. And then this one, the big bro, is about the same size as a GEC 86. And I have a couple of these 86s that I love. And to me, again, like this is the classic American jackknife, kind of a biggish size for that kind of a folder. And you got the clip point and a pretty stout pull and a nice, walk and talk. It's just an awesome knife. So I do recommend the Jack Wolf knives, not just because Ben Belkin sends me one every month, and I'm so grateful and lucky that I'm one of those few who he does that with. So I mean, but all of that said, that I love slip joints, and those things are just, you gotta, it's worth getting one and seeing. And maybe you can find one on the secondary market. I see them occasionally. Yeah, all right. Next up, my fixed blade today. I was just not feeling it, but I wanted a fixed blade, and this is what I went for. This little counter tack. I love this thing. This is the Cold Steel Counter Tack 2, and it is a dagger chisel ground with a concave side over here. It's like a spoon almost. You can see it like that, especially. And very steep grinds. This is for, pulling out and stabbing with. And this is a get off me kind of knife. And just very light and small and wicked and awesome. And I love it. And this is how I carried it today. I'll show you. I ordinarily carry it in the neck knife position. But today, and I've been carrying this a lot recently, like this. I put it on my, here, I'm going to tilt this down just a touch. I put it right here on my belt, and then just trace it around to the front and put it sits right in the waistband like that. And the cord just sits right in the pants. You don't see it. And then if you need it, there it is. And you can grab it from either side, either hand. You can grab it lefty and have it in reverse grip, or you can grab it cross draw and have it like that. And I love it. It's so small and light, and it's a great alternative to carrying a larger fixed blade. Like if you want a fixed blade knife, especially if you want a little self-defensey fixed blade knife, this is a great thing. And it's a great way to carry it. You can do that with all sorts of more utilitarian knives, but yeah, I really dig it. And the knife itself is awesome. So that was my fixed blade knife today, the CounterTack 2. And then lastly, of course, I had an emotional support knife, and I've been thinking about Finch knives lately because they just came out with that clip point with the blue jigged bone. I might have to get that. Very sweet looking. And this is my favorite Finch knife, the buffalo. What the hell is this called? Buffalo tooth. And this big, giant, broad blade with that. These are titanium, actually, liners on this one. And you've got cocobolo wood They're just beautiful. This is so cool. Big gentleman's knife. Like, to me, this is a gentleman's knife, very big and capable. I remember the day I got it. I prepared an entire salad, cut all the vegetables with that, and man, it did a great job because it's got such a high grind. I want to get this thing off of me now. It's got such a high grind, and it's a flat grind that yeah, cooking through all sorts, all manner of vegetables and such. So that's what I had on me today. What were you carrying today on the the big back from Black Wolf Knives, the counter tattoo cold steel, and this here buffalo? Look at the difference. That is tremendous. Look at that. Wow. Yep. The Finch buffalo tooth. That's cool. All right. So what were you carrying on you? Let me know. Mm. As I pause for a sip of delicious, delicious coffee. Kevin Messard said, if I could only have one knife, it would be a next gen Kephart from LT Wright Knives. It works in the woods, in the garage, and in the kitchen. Really? So next gen Kephart, what about it is next gen? Is it a departure from the traditional sort of design? Mike Flamian said his Randall Model 14. How cool, with CDT or WCDT. I can't remember what that is now. Southern Tulk blue with copper pivot collar and back spacer and over travel disc. That Tulk, that's a cool blade. Very nice carry, as always, from Mike Flamian, and just a little bit outside the norm, which I like. I mean, this guy carries a Model 14 around with him. That's cool. B Walsh, good to have you here, B. Tiger Stripe Strider SNG, very nice. I have an SMF, never had an SNG except in ProTech form, and I gotta say that in the concealed carry, that contoured handle would be very, very nice. My carry, petrified fish 818 and an off-grid all-day necker. What's the 818? Because I just got a new petrified fish. I don't know what the number is, but it's cool. Professor EDC says, Bob, my friend, what the hell did you do? You look 10 years younger. Do I? How did I? Oh, I got a haircut. That's what it is. I got a haircut today. So several weeks back. So I'm not the kind of guy who plans out haircuts and is into making appointments. But that's how, where I live, if you want a good appointment, or if you want a good haircut, that's basically what you got to do, even if it's a barber shop. So I've been going to this place where I knew I could just kind of run in and get a haircut, and I just got a terrible one recently. And my wife and I tried to fix it. Neither of us are haircutters, so I found a good place today and got a recommendation. Went in, got a good haircut. So I think that's what it is. I look nice and clean on the sides, and why, thank you, sir. I will remember that. It's funny because my daughter said, Dad, you look like Clark. You look like an older Clark Kent. And I was like, older Clark Kent? What do you mean? Because in my mind, Clark Kent's still a little bit older than I am. That will be for as long as I live. So, and she's like, Dad, he's like 30. You're like 51. Oh, yeah, that's right. Dissentient 01, good to have you here, sir. Okay, Bob, what's with the coffin handle? Which one? Which one? Are you talking about this one? The coffin handle, because or do you mean in general? Because I love the coffin handle, and if you want to speak abstractly about it, I'll defend it and tell you why I think it is possibly a superior handle to have on a Bowie knife or a fighting knife, even a dagger. Have a Knife Day says, I carried my OD Green G10 handled Emerson CQC 8 with VEF serrations. That sounds awesome. I love the 8. And the Kerrigan style James Black guardless coffin handle Bowie made by 310 Forge from the Bowie Festival. I know. So that's the one that kind of looks like the Bowie that's in the logo for the festival itself, like the one that they kind of think may have been the original design. I think that is so cool. I love it. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see your video on it. Dion Page, SRK in 3V, Voyager XL. I love it. Which blade? I have my Voyager. Oh, no. I have my Recon. And Victorinox Evo. Victorinox Evo. What is the Evo? I don't think I know that one. Blade-tastic Knife says Pocket Check. Spyderco Yo Jumbo. Excellent. Spyderco Resilience. Also excellent. And the Rooster Karambit from Shade, Indonesia. How cool. You know what? Out there, uh, Steve is Scab with the Shade, and I'm not surprised that you have some Shade Indonesia blades. I need to get them. I need to get them, all of them. No, but there are some of their blades are just so cool, and Carnivora designs some really cool stuff. Keith says, I had a Buck Marksman. It's a pretty cool knife. Oh, that Marksman is cool. That's the one that G&G Hawk designed, right? Hero Stick says giant slip joint and a tiny fixed blade today. Boker Bad Guy. That's the cool one that Hero loaned me. Black, big, fat black slip joint that I did a one on the show. And a CRKT minimalist Warnie. That is a small one. It's funny about the minimalist Warnie that the Warncliffe model is smaller than all the other ones. Interestingly, or maybe not so interesting to you, but to me, it's interesting. This Old Sword Blade Reviews says one knife for life would have to be a fixed blade, and it would have to do it all. So the Microtech Crosshair Spear Point with both smooth and serrated sides. That's good. Yeah. Yes, I like that idea. Smooth and serrated and Microtech. I mean, if you have to have one knife the rest of your life, to gaze at a Microtech and to thumb a Microtech the rest of your life, it's pretty nice. I actually was carrying, where is it? Speaking of Microtech, my EDC yesterday, and I can't remember the last time I EDC'd this knife, but it was such a pleasure. Was my Ultratech, also in the double edge, and that serrated on the top and the regular the flat blade or the plain blade on the main edge. I think that's a good call, Dave, because you get double the utility if you go with the double edge blade. Damn it, I wish I thought of that. All right, Acid Test Kids, good to have you here. Benchmade 940 and a Kaiser Sose. Oh, wait a sec. So was that okay? All right. Yes, it must be. It has to be. Berg Knife. I had the Cold Steel Warncliffe or Warcraft Tonto, the SRK Compact. Hang on, let me start this from the top because that I'm thinking about that Warcraft. That Warcraft Tonto has the contoured handles and the full tang, right? And but that comes in a couple of different sizes, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know what size. I had the Cold Steel Warcraft Tonto, the SRK Compact, 4 Max Italian, 4-inch tie light, and the LTK Result with me today. My God, nice. You are a devotee to Cold Steel. I totally appreciate that. The Warcraft Tonto, the SRK Compact, Manaj. I love it. Very nicely done. Johnny Danger, what are you doing? Thank you, sir. One Knife, the auxiliary manufacturing, Carl. Dope. I hope you enjoy that. I do not have one yet. I want to get the dagger, the pocket rocket dagger from auxiliary, but I dig those knives. Johnny, for that, you get a salutation. Let me see. What will it be with? What will it be with? Okay. Well, this is kind of thematic, and you'll see why later. I am going to salute you and this super chat, Johnny Danger, with this Tops Wild Pig Hunter. What a beautiful knife, differentially heat treated, and you can see it right there on the blade that has this just an acid wash finish. So nice. What a great blade. Based on a Russian fighting military knife, actually. Great and stiff, and it looks like an I-beam from certain aspects, so that when that wild pig is coming after you, all you have to do is just sort of brace it and they run right up on it and it's done, right? Isn't that as easy as wild pig hunting is? I don't know, but I do know that the knives for wild pig hunting are awfully cool. So this is for you, Johnny Danger. I thank you, sir. Oh, yeah. And then a little drive-by. All right. I love this knife. Now, why is this foreshadowing? Perhaps. There's another knife in the offing that I'm going to pull it out right now. No, I'm not. I'm not going to pull it out right now because I want to show you one other thing and then I will pull it out. But interesting is the TCAL. I'm still into TCAL and not still into like I just come and go with knives, but there are several other models of his that I want to check out. So this is the first one I got from him, and I have something else on the way from him. Professor EDC says, carried my Wee Snex Vision R. That is such a cool knife. Jack Wolf Knives, Big Bro. That's right. And Amora knife, Light My Fire. That's a great one. As I am carving a spoon. That Light My Fire, that's a cool knife. It's got a ferro rod buried in the handle of sort of a regular type Mora knife. I got that for a buddy of mine years ago from REI. That's where I saw it. Ket McNessart says, today I am carrying a Malone Knives Nessmuk, a Bear Forest Knives GT3, and a Jack Wolf Knives Javelina Jack. Another great one, a sow belly. Robert Douglas says, just my Mannix in CPM S110V. You know what they say, Robert? Great minds think alike, sir. And of course, have the same first name. Byron Kennedy says, if I could have only one Spartan Harsey Defensa. Oh, that's such a beautiful design. Black. It reminds me of the Gerber Rock, which is also a Harsey design. Spartan Harsey Defensa Black, 6.25 inches of S45 VN. It's a drop point, 3/16 inch stock fixed blade with black micarta scales, Kydex sheath for day, leather sheath for bedtime. I feel you, man. I love that. Or, Kydex sheath when you're doing ops, but then when you're just working on the ranch, you just have it in the leather. I'm with you. I love that. I do not. So sadly, Johnny, I do not have any Winkler knives. As a matter of fact, funny you should say that. I very recently almost got a Winkler knife on Blade Forums, and I did not. I got to say, personally, and I have some buddies that I train with who have them, and one of them actually, one guy has his set up for pocket carry. It's very cool. I'm going to hold out for a tomahawk. I'd rather get a tomahawk than a knife from him. Shane, how's it going? We have Edgy American with us. One knife for life at this point is my American Blade Works Model 1 version 6 in Magna Cut. I have mine out tonight as well. This is the Model 5 in S35 VN, and not quite as dialed in as the 6, but so sweet. I love this knife. It is a great actual tool. I fetishize these things and forget sometimes that they're tools, but this is a great tool and homemade, if you will, by a great guy. Homemade makes it sound, but you know what I mean. This old sword, class carry today, Reich Lamella. Hang on. Reich Lamella in 20 CV, Riot Mini Crossroads in M390. Now, I just got to interject here. That Crossroads designed by Kirby Lambert is one of the most beautiful folder designs ever. I love his stuff so much. Off-Grid Scorpion in M390, Best Tech OEM, and Microtech SBD Dagger, Borka design. Oh, dude, I didn't know you had one of those. It's always an envy show with Dave. Not envy. I want you to have it too. It's a jealousy thing. That's what it is. Jealousy. It's just that I want it for me. Not that I don't want you to have it, but I didn't know you had one of those. Those are so cool. That's what the real broad dagger, right? And it's almost like a spearhead. It's so cool looking. Nicely done, sir. Always nicely done. Sharp and Stabby says, I had my Blade Show Texas acquisitions on me today. Baron Sun Bally song, very cool. Kukri Blade and my Revere's big brother, the Ruffian. Oh, nice, nice. I love it. So I was talking with Matt today, and he said that. Well, I'll keep that. I'll keep that for now. But that's cool. That's cool. I have the Revere. I have this Revere, by the way, sharp and stabby, is excellent. I got the discrete carry clip on this, discrete carry concepts clip. This is excellent for appendix carry. Just that this curve kind of matches the natural belly contour, and it all just and the sheath is very nice. It all works great. So Revere is a good. I'm all about that appendix carry right now, and that's a good one. James says, got my BRR Gava with me right now. Most people probably don't know that knife, but it's worth tracking one down. Yeah, I only know it through you. I've only seen one, I think, through you. So, but always a not a hot take. What's the word? A deep cut from you. So let's go check that out. Heavy hot carry Togata. Heavy hot carry Togata. Okay, I'm not going to go. So that's not the Togata. Okay. Did B Rapier ever respond to where Amtac is made? He never responded to my, invitations to come on the show. And no, he did not. I don't know where the Amtac is made. I guess it's probably made in China. If it's not, because when something's made in the USA, it. It's like that old joke. How do you know if someone goes to Harvard? They tell you. It's the same thing with American-made knives. How do you know if the knife is made in America? Well, they tell you. So I'm sure that Amtac is made somewhere else. It's very beautifully made, but if that's a stopping point for you, I totally get it. And for me, it's sort of, I don't want to say easy come, easy go, because I hope it doesn't go anywhere. It was a gift. And when things are gifts and they're expensive, you cherish them definitely. But, well, I guess I never bought one myself. So what am I getting at? I don't know. It's a great blade. I just carried mine the other day. And what was cool about that was that it was a double fixed blade day and one slip joint. I felt like Lou Diamond Phillips in Young Guns. I'm the knife guy. I'm the knife guy in the group. Benedict Odie, good to see you here, Benedict. Carried my Benchmade Presidio 2 today. That's a nice knife. I like that Presidio kind of looks like every other Benchmade until you actually look at it, and it's got some really subtle lines. It's a nice knife. I like that. When we were at Monticello 2 weeks ago, and they had these little lucite, clear lucite knife lockers, someone had a Presidio. I was looking at what everyone had, and I was just happy to see that there were enough people who had knives that they just decided it's better to just get a box. So let's see. Come on. Does anyone want the knife? Okay. Maybe some of you have joined us. I just want to say this knife here, we're giving away tonight. And all you got to do is put #knife in the comments. So if you're watching right now and you haven't put it in there, you're one of half of the people that does not want to win this knife. Do you know how good your odds are of winning this knife right now? This is the QSP Locust. It's got amazing action, a nice Warncliffe blade, very thin, very slicey, great point, really ergonomic handle that works great in a standard sort of saber grip like that, but also great in reverse grip and Pikal grip with that swell going into the palm. Just an outstanding knife with beautifully milled and shaped micarta, nice liners, the whole deal. All you got, and titanium sculpted pocket clip. All of this courtesy of Dave, This Old Sword Blade Reviews. This could be yours for nothing except the cost of typing #knife in the comments. So we're going to do that, and we're going to give that knife away at 11. at the stroke of 11, I swear. How did I go through that much coffee that quickly? Kaiser Odin Titanium S35VN and Brissa Necker. Brissa, tip of the tongue. Olive wood. I love olive wood. 12C27. Interesting. I'm not sure what this Brissa neck knife is. It keeps making me think of bris, which is the Jewish. Now I'm not sure if it's a sacrament or what, but it's a ceremony where they cut the foreskin off young boys. It's called a bris, and people come and watch it, and it's an occasion. And so Brissa for a knife makes me cringe just a little. Jeremy Nedro says, if I could only have one knife for life, it would be an SE4 in S35VN. Oh, that's a good choice for a production knife. If I could pick anything, I would use my custom Bowie knife I made, says Jeremy. First of all, good to have you here, Jeremy. Second of all, go with the custom Bowie knife that you made. That would be the cool way to go. Though that SE4, that's a perfect choice. Cool, clear water. Cheeto Bandito says, had my Monterey Bay Knives Easy C 2.0. Very nice. Remington Baby Bullet. Oh, cool. And Leatherman Wave Plus. A very nice carry, Cheeto Bandito. I like that. Remington Baby Bullet. That's cool. I'm actually curious about the blade setup on that. If you would, let me know what the blade setup is on that, and I will remember it is you. Jose Abdul Favela, good to see you here, sir. Carrying the Otanashi no Ken from James Williams and Bastinelli Mako folder. That is a cool, that's a cool grouping right there. You're ready. You're loaded for bear, as they say. Razorback. Whoa, so sorry. Don't mean to be such an uncouth bastard. Razorback, finally caught you. Been flat out the last few weeks. I could only carry one folder for the rest of my life. It'd probably be the Gale Bradley too. All right, Razorback, I'm giving you the choice to also choose a fixed blade because it doesn't have to be a folder. Clip Point Voyager, says Dion Page. All right. Nice one. That was the most recent addition to my XL Voyager collection, and the one that that was the last one I was waiting for. I used to have it. I gave it away. I had to buy it back. Have a Knife Day says, I would love to get a Bowie #1 James Black Bowie. Now that's a knife. Okay, so is that the one that I was just describing? And it has a weird sort of angle of the blade to the handle, right? It kind of comes up a little bit, slight bit. Shane says, I carried my Manix XL. I love that. Just in case MFers want to find out. Nice. Yeah, you know what that is, like a barong. It's like that big leaf-shaped blade. Yeah, you could do extraordinary damage with that Manix 2 XL. Jay McConnell says, one knife. I'll probably change my mind tomorrow and settle on the Shiro F95-0. That's a class move. Tonight, I'll say it's the Wilburn Forge Bodyguard. Do you own Wilburn Forge? I lust after those knives. Been following them for years on Instagram, and I don't know which one the Bodyguard is, but I got to look it up. I love Wilburn Forge knives. Sorry, I'm going to write this down. Wilburn. And the funny thing is once recently, let's see, Bodyguard. I saw one of his builds, a Wilburn Forge knife, and I was like, oh, I've been getting some custom fixed blades. And I went to the webpage and I was like, not yet. You have not earned the right or at least the money to buy they're serious knives, and God, they're gorgeous. His Bowie knives are incredible. Anyway, good choice. Will B says Grimsmo Norseman. Okay. Microtech Death on Contact. That's a cool knife, that DOC. And I remember when it came out, people were complaining about the pocket clip. I think it was. I think Jim Skelton put out a video where he was like lambasting Tony Marfione saying, "Why, what have I done to you, you son of a," just going on and on. I mean, somewhat jokingly. Microtech Stitch Ram Lock. Got to get my hands on one of those. I mean, gotta get my hands on one. Ferrum Forge Mordax, Ferrum Forge Aluris, Spyderco Manix 2XL. That's the second one tonight. Reich Knight, Spyderco Ronin 2, Riot Exo. Okay, so 9 knives, and then a Baton 3, and now I know what that is, and a Karis Bolt V2. So presumably that's your pen. Very nice carry. Will, are you a large gent like Chris the Blade Ogre, who sometimes wears multi-pocketed overalls? I mean, that's 9. That's 9. That's serious. Matthew Christensen, good to see you here, sir. Para 2, done and done, he says. A simple, useful knife. This coming from someone who designs and makes some of the sweetest, most awesomest knives out there. Cool to hear that he's still got his feet right here on planet Earth and loves the PM2, despite its atrocious blade to handle ratio and it's awesome. I mean, it's such a nice knife to use, but something about the way it looks just chafes the eyes. What can I say? Ryan's got stuff. Good to see you, Ryan. Got stuff. Well, UT always the same. The Raja 2 for EDC and the Amish John. So nice, man. That's a good and very understated selection. I like it. Greg Maroney, good to see you here, Greg. He's waving. Those are waves. Okay. Waves and fist bumps. Good to see you here, man. What would your one knife be from here until the end of time? Johnny Danger says, nice. Thank you. Well, my pleasure, sir. I thank you. Greg says, I just picked up the QVist. Is that how you say it? Or is it Kvist? I'm going to, you know what? Let's say Kvist. It sounds more authentic. PE2 in denim micarta. Love denim micarta with extra jade scales for $50. Awesome deal. Okay, so this is the one. This is a kind of a locking sway back. Is that right? With a Wharncliffe blade and kind of a sway back handle. I think that's what that is. And what a cool knife that is. Joseph S., nice to have you here with us, Joseph S. Work carry today. Spyderco, I added the today. I don't know. Could be your work carry all the time. Work carry, Spyderco Tenacious, serrated G10. Very nice serrated. I like the choice. Leatherman rebar. After work, I like this. So this is a day to night look. After work, Benchmade Bug Out Carbon Fiber Elite. Very nice. Wenger Swiss Buck Remedy and the CRKT Owlet. Huh. Owlet. That is relatively new, and I don't remember what that is. And what is a Swiss Buck Remedy? Wenger. So that means it's a little bit older. Is that right? Because Wenger is not around anymore, are they? Interesting and slightly vexing carry, sir. Mike Flamian says, if you salute someone with a Randall Model 2, then your eyebrows would be lower. My Model 2, yeah, you're right about that. And I'm already self-conscious about my thinning eyebrows. Yeah, you're right. I see, because it's double edge. Yes. Oh, I might be doing that later. Berg Knife says, yep, I had the 5.5 Warcraft. So far is my favorite. If I had to choose the only knife for life, it would be the Recon XL clip point. But what a sad thought. I'm sorry. I just flipped this up and I laughed, and I didn't mean to do that. That was immature of me, and I didn't mean it to sound the way it came off. What I meant is, like, I know what you mean. I'm very, this took me a long time to get. And when I found it, I was very happy. So yeah, I hear you. It's a great knife. And you can still find them on the secondary market on occasion. So have no fear. Jeremy Nedro says, I had a light carry today. I carried a Spyderco Manix 2. Very nice. And a Swiss Army knife. I like that. That's class. Let me show you something. We've been talking about lights a little bit, and I didn't go whole hog, but I needed a new one for my keychain, And so I got this little Olight that I say we all know. I think it's because we probably all get similar emails. But this thing is awesome. This little Olight, it's got two different, you just twist this. It's got two different settings. This is the IR2, two different settings. One that's like moonlight, and then one that's a lot brighter. And it's awesome. I love it. So if you need a little keychain light for $20, you can't beat this little thing. And I've had a bunch of different keychain lights. This one's awesome. Edgy American says a local pawn shop has a Randall for like $600. I have no idea what they're worth. Well, $600 is about is that's about what you pay for a Randall. And so I would say if you're getting it from a pawn shop for $600, it has to be in like very nice shape, I would say, because you pay $650 for a new one. Of course, you got to wait a long time for a new one unless you find one at Knife Center or something like that. I'd be curious, if you go there again and it's still there, take a picture and text it to me. I'd love to see it. My mind is starting to click. I have $600 worth of stuff up here on the table. No. Eugene Krabs, good to have you here, Eugene. Carried a Malibu today for emotional support. Had the GEC number 14 boys knife. That's a great. I love the number 14, even almost more than the 15. Looking forward to adding the El Pionero from Tops. Yes, now that's the new. So sorry. That's the new Ed Calderon knife, right? That doesn't look like what we think of when we think of an Ed Calderon knife. It's not a Pikal, but the handle is set up if you want to use it for a Pikal. It's got that little divot there, but it's got a straight blade with a basically a normal setup. Sharp and Stabby says, my one knife for life, the classic Buck 119, reminds me of good days with Dad. That's cool. That's a good answer. It's a great knife, and the sentimental dimension keeps the rest of your life moored to the other part of your life. You know what I mean? Lone Wolf says, if there could be only one, the TRC Apocalypse. Why does that not look right? Apocalypse. I know which knife you're talking about. That's the little 4.5-inch dagger, right? Am I right about that? The TRC, that is a wicked looking little knife. Is that right? If there could only be one. BF Vigner. BF Vigner. Good to have you here, BF. Edgy American Randalls hold their value very well. Yeah. I got one of the VST Randalls for about $500. It's worth over $1,500 now. IIRC. Okay, what is BF? If you could let me know, what is VST, and then also what is IIRC? Be interested to find that out. Six Semper Tyrannis says, well, good to have you here, Six Semper Tyrannis. I just got a Cold Steel Arkansas toothpick thanks to this guy. Thanks to this guy over here. Hey, I don't have it. I got that from my brother. It's my brother's fault. It's a cool knife, I think. I got to say, I like those big windlass cutlery made cold steel knives, like this one here. The 1917. This is also made in India by Windlass Cutlery, and this thing is awesome. The only thing I find is that they go heavy on the handle finish, so you just got to kind of rub it off with rubbing alcohol until nothing comes off, and then you're good to go. But yeah, these things are awesome. Windlass Cutlery is pretty sweet. Let's see. Johnny Danger says, for what Bill Rapier charges for his Amtac blades, it should be American made. Shameful. That's my gripe. I 100% hear you. I hear you. And I would imagine that that's I would imagine that that's a slight source of embarrassment, and hence why he doesn't answer the question. You know how there sometimes might be little things that you're like, well, I shouldn't be ashamed about this, but I kind of am, so I'm just going to avoid that. So maybe that's what that is. Good luck on the QSP, guys. I don't do warnies, says James Moore. James, warnies and Tontos. James does not like warnies or Tontos, and we've sort of debated him in comments and me, verbally, but he knows what he likes. I even sent him a picture of a beautiful folder by, I don't even remember, maybe it was Andre Thorburn, someone that I know he likes. I can't remember who it was now, and it had some natural material on it. And he said, yeah, it looks good for it looked good as a as an end table. I think it had wood on it. It looked good as an end table. Love it. PJD 113 made it. He says, good to have you here. I'm glad you made it. PJD, let us know what you're carrying today. And also, let me tell you, sir, that all you got to do, and you got to do it quickly because we're about to give it away, just drop in the comments #knife, and we're going to put the comments through the random generator and find out who wins this knife. All you got to do to win it is put in #knife in the next 1 minute. Berg Knife says, Brissa makes a good knife at a good price. Only thing I didn't care for was the fact that they sealed the micarta. I would much rather have it grippy. That is interesting. I have one Civivi where they did that, and I'm not exactly sure how they do that, but yeah, it just feels different. BF Vigner says, only one folder, my Buck 882. Now, which one is the 882? Only one fixed, my Randall VST 14, number 7. So that, or number 14, 7. What is VST? Let me know. IIRC. It's the only one of their run with the Border Patrol handle. I like the Border Patrol handle. That's cool. I love the number 14 blade. It's a clip point. It's a broad, sort of a broad Bowie. It's beautiful. Brissa Enzo, currently made in Portugal, moving production to Finland, says Michael Morgan. Are these kind of peasant knives? Are these in the vein of, say, Svord or Opinel or one of those kind of companies? Cheeto Bandito says, Knife Junkie, the baby bullet has a drop point and a spay blade. Oh, interesting. Okay, so kind of like a trapper setup, but instead of the clip point, it's a drop point. That's cool. That sounds awesome. And I'm imagining, I don't know why, but I'm imagining green jigged bone. Please make it green jigged bone. You're like, no, it's not. It's red. Blame Dexter says, it feels, hey, Blame, good to have you here. It feels like it's been forever since I was in a stream. Well, it feels like it has been forever. They started having me close at work, and I usually have to stay late. I was going to say that sucks, but hey, man, it's good to have a job, and we'll be here. Beefer Baron, good to see you here, Beefer Baron. Shaman and the Finch Takuna. Do you like the way I said shaman? It just doesn't matter. Shaman, shaman, and the Takuna. That's a cool one with that broad blade, and I think that's the only one they've ever done. No, I take it back. I think they've only done 2 hollow grounds. I think it was that and the Cimarron. That I know of anyway. Byron Kennedy says, anyone here like knives? The 2023 YouTube Chopper Challenge videos out now. 20 challenges, competing for prizes, and judging by both panel and audience. See Tyrell Knifeworks for videos, video list, and voting links. Tyrell, oh man, he was on the show here. He's a really talented guy. He makes some amazing stuff. Thumbs up, people, says Beaver Baron. I couldn't agree more with you, sir, and I thank you. Will B says, I'm 6'2", 190, and have a good belt. All right, so you're you know what's funny is that you're an inch taller than I am, or inch and a half, and I have noticed that when I'm around anyone who's even the slightest bit taller than I am, they seem like they tower over me. I don't like it. Loyal Group, good to see you here, Loyal Group. Tops 107E for me. Your mileage may vary. Now, what's the 107E? I don't know tops by their model numbers, I gotta say. Yeah, let me know which one that is. If it has a name, a title type thing. The PM2, says Shane, is such a great knife. I love it, but not as much as the Goat Production EDC, the Manix 2. Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. The ergonomics of this are just as good as the PM2, if not better. And you get a little bit more of a blade I don't know. I like it better. I'm with you. Professor EDC says one knife for life, folder Zahn. So aluminum Zahn from Chris Reeve Knives, and then fixed Bark River Bravo LT, and one axe for life, the Gransford Brooks small forest axe. I think I have a Gransford Brooks. I have a fancy axe that an axe friend gave me, and I love it. I think it might be a Gransford. It's been a while since I've looked at it. Motoman says, today I have the Viper Maga and the Cold Steel Mini Tack Kiradashi. Thanks to you. So, Motoman, first of all, thanks for joining us. Good to have you here. So, have you had the Mini Tack Kiradashi ever since it was out and I just reminded you about it, or did you seek one out and actually find one? I'm curious. Professor EDC says Brissa before Enzo brand name. Oh, okay. Got you. All right, let's do this. Shall we? Let's do this giveaway. Berg Knife says, I've given every family member one of those keychain Olights. They're great. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it is really, really great. And it came like fully charged. Yeah. So the thing I do, I have a problem remembering charging these lights. So I got to keep on that. And then otherwise I'll be good. 2 Kobe's today. Is that Kobe's? The pokey one and the big one. Nice. Okay, so here it is. Let's do this. This is the QSP Locust, and it is going to one lucky winner who has put #knife in the comments. Jim, shall we do this, sir? All right, let's roll in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. It keeps turning until it stops. And where it stops, it's Blade-tastic Knives. Oh, hey, it's Steve. Awesome, man. Well, I'm happy to see you're winning this knife. This is gonna work for you. I think this is right up your alley. I think you like the tactical knives. I know you like the tactical knives, and this is a good one. You're gonna dig this. All right, let me know your email me your address, and I will get this in the mail to you post haste. I'm very, very happy to be moving along this knife that was given to the channel to an awesome guy. So there it is. All right. Michael Morgan says, think Brian at BCK is waiting 4.5 years for his Randall. Does that seem right? Right or wrong, I don't think is the thing. I just think, without pretense, that's how far out they are. It's always a 5-year wait. But again, like I said, if you're lucky, you can score the ones you want already released to the world, because they make a small amount, and they send them out to some retailers. Knife Center is one of them. That's how I got my 2, and I got 2 knives, one exactly how I wanted it, and that's this one. I've always wanted the combat stiletto, and they just so happen to have it with the commando handle and the stacked leather, and this is exactly how I wanted it. So I bought it right from them. And then I have a number 16 special fighter with the number 1 handle, and that was also one I just got from them. So right or wrong, I don't think is the question. It's like, is it worth it to you? Will you still be interested in 5 years? Dissentient says knife for life equals Bravo Taupe Recon. All right, I think I know which one that is. It's almost like a clip point, right? A clip point BRK Bravo. Loyal Group says the TRC Apocalypse, okay, is a 7-inch LMAX wilderness plate. Okay, so I'm totally off. I'm thinking of something else, but I think TRC does make a cool little dagger without quillions, without a handguard. Am I right about that? Let's see. BF Vigner says, I'm hoping that's how your name goes. VST was a collaboration between Larry Vickers and Lois Hill Knife and Gun. They did a number of Randalls based on the Randall that Vickers carried during his Delta days. Oh God, how cool. How cool. I love that. I love everything about that. That just is cool. Jim, could you bring that one back up for a second? I just want to reread it so I kind of remember it. VST was a collaboration between Larry Vickers and Lois Hill Knife and Gun. They did a number of Randalls based on the Randall that Vickers carried during his Delta days. Jeez, that's so cool. All right, thank you, Larry Vickers. Jeremy Nedro says, I have that 1917 Bowie. It's awesome and very well made. It is, and sharp as the dickens. Sharp as the day is long. BF says, blued blades, flat finished hardware, micarta handles, plain Randall sheath with no stone pocket, bidirectional sheath and wax coated for water resistance. When you say bidirectional sheath, do you mean that on the attachment loops, there's a way to mount it scout carry? Is that what that means? CPM, nice to have you here, CPM. Chavez 229 kickstop today. Very nice. I need a Chavez in my life, especially now that you can replace the clips. Yes, I'm one of those buzzkills who doesn't like the skull clip. Beaver Baron says, if only one, I'm going with the classic Crocodile Dundee knife. That is a cool knife. I've been so close to buying that down under, what do they call it? The down under Bowie. So many times I've been close to getting it, but I just haven't. I know they're good, and it's not a movie reproduction. It just looks exactly like it, but it's a legit Bowie, but I just have never quite, well, obviously, but maybe that's what gets me back into my next Bowie phase, because it's that knife is beautiful. I love the one downward turned quillion, and everything about that knife is cool. Mark Ridgewell, good to see you here, Mark. The Null Raiden, that's such a cool knife. And the Sea Snake, another cool knife, designed by our friend Mike Emler and made by Artisan Cutlery. Greg Maroney says, I really want a Spyderco dog tag. Oh, those are cool. Yeah, those are cool. Those had a big heyday. I mean, I remember when those came out, and a lot of people featured them in their videos, in their like EDC videos. I mean, you know, we've been watching knife videos since 2008, nothing fancy. Like, I don't think there are too many people who predate that. Cutlery Lover, I think, came out around the same time. So we've been watching, like, the knife video form has been around for at least like 17 years. Is that right? So it's been around, and I feel like the videos have gone through a bunch of different sort of iterations and styles and prevalent styles. It'd be kind of cool to trace that, but I don't have the time, so I'm not even gonna. All right, Professor EDC says bristle knives are more woods and bushcraft knives and folders. Okay, all right. I'm gonna have to look into this Brissa. Motoman says, I've had the Kiradashi for years. Cool. Because I was gonna say, if you found it on the secondary market, that's a real win. Check this one out. You're gonna like this, Motoman. This one Dave sent in the box, big box of knives that I'm gonna be giving away. But as always, I always adopt one, and well, I think this might be it. This is the Skinner, or I think this is the Skinner. This is the one. I mean, I always wanted this, never got it, and then it went away. So I was very psyched to see it. It is so thin. It's amazing. Bladetastic says, oh my goodness, thank you, brother. Oh, my pleasure, man. Thanks for watching, and thanks for being a part of that giveaway. I'm psyched to send that to you, get it in your hands. Let's see. Loyal Group says the 107E is a variant of the Steel Eagle. For some reason, I thought that was what you were going to say. The series that put tops on the map in the early 2000s. It's 7.5 inches of virtually indestructible quarter-inch 1095. One hell of a wilderness outdoor blade. Have you seen the one, Loyal Group, where they have, it's the Steel Eagle, but it has a little mini knife in the handle? Kind of a cool concept. Yeah, just curious if you've ever seen that or used that. Jeremy Nedro says, good night, everyone. 4 a.m. comes early. No kidding. I have to catch the rest later. All righty, my man. Well, thank you so much for joining us, sir. Have a great evening. And remember, the weekend starts here. So have an awesome, awesome weekend and take care. Six Semper Tyrannis says, in your moment of need, God help you if all you have is an weapon. Exactly. I do like double-edged knives. I'm surrounded by them right now because of this dagger and others. You know, recently I got the Spartan Les George dagger. Put this down here. Ugh. You know, recently I got this dagger, and what an outstanding, amazing thing this is, based on the Marine Raider dagger. Kevin Moore says, hey, first of all, hey, Kevin, good to have you here always. Varied the Spyderco Danger Pickle and the Finch Cherry Bomb. Very nice. I was just looking at the Cherry Bomb today. Sold out everywhere. I mean, I know it's been around a long time, but you can still get some of their other knives. Anyway, Skull Clip looks like a cartoon dead duck skull. It does. That's funny. So I got this one recently, and it whet my appetite for daggers. And so when I saw Scruggs of Legion Tactical Cutlery, I'm not sure if any of you guys watch it, him, but I like his channel. He sounds like a paisan to me also. I don't know. I might be casting. I don't know. He sounds like an Italian guy to me. I like listening to him. He's like, I don't know. I'm not going to do an imitation, but check him out. Legion Tactical. He likes big fixed blade knives. Berg Knife says, gotta crash. Great time as always. Thank you, Berg Knife. It's been a pleasure. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you here next week. But before you go, check this out, man. Check it out. It's really cool. Right here. I'll just show it to you real quick. This is the Odin Wolf. Odin Wolf. This is the Odin Wolf Sow Catcher. This is a D2 dagger with those recurve edges, and just this reminds me of like an old Greek sword, like a Bronze Age Greek sword, that leaf-shaped blade. 9 inches of D2. It's got a really nice molded, I don't know what kind of handle, some sort of plastic, but it feels good in hand. It's light, and it's just incredibly wicked, and it's quite inexpensive. I got that on Amazon. Doing a family order of stuff we needed, and somehow this just made it on. But the only reason, or the reason I got it, is because I saw Scruggs beat the hell out of it for 20 minutes, into pressure treated post wood, and just bang it, doing stuff to it that you're not supposed to do with daggers, and it passed with flying colors. So I was like, why not? Shane just said, I just ran a crackhead out of my yard. The 9mm was a persuader. Dude, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. That was sketchy as hell. Yeah. No shit. I don't know if if you're used to that in your area. I certainly I spent 20 years living in New York, and then 4 of those years in Philadelphia. Like, I got used to sketchiness, but now where I live, not as much, but I have seen some sketch recently, and it has me on alert, man. Shane, keep your eyes open, and I know you will, but I'm sorry you had to deal with that BS tonight. That's lame. Get off my lawn. That gives get off my lawn a whole new meaning. But yeah, get off my lawn, no crack. Yeah. Thank you very much. So what do you think of the Odin Wolf Sow Catcher? I don't know. So remember before? Yes, I do know. I like it very much. I don't know what this. I don't know what business is, but remember before I said there was some foreshadowing. Well, there you have it. The reason I did my salute with the wild pig hunter was because I knew we were going to be pulling out another pig hunting knife. Now, is there anyone out there who hunts pigs with a knife? I know we've had this conversation before. But I mean, wow, that's got to be some sort of pastime, Bring the dogs out, have them hunt and then and it's all. Some dude just chased me out of his yard, says Michael Morgan. You better be careful. Shane is a serious man. Razorback says, do you own any German World War II era knives, Bob? Fella in the military antique store was telling me the government here is thinking of banning the sale of anything with a swastika. We've had a law very, very much like that in the U.S. Or something like that for years. And the reason I know is my brother is interested in World War II history and militaria, and we had let's see, my grandfather had a friend who served in the OSS during World War II, and he had this full-on stash of amazing of knives and swords and guns, pistols, rifles, all sorts of booty from World War II. And incidentally, he got senile. He became senile, and his wife sold it all for a shamefully low sum. Like, whoever bought that, it is going to hell for spending the small amount. Anyway, long and short of it is, my brother really wanted some of the daggers that this guy had. And I remember the guy saying something to the effect of, I can have these because I was a spy, but really these are illegal to have in the United States because of the swastika. I don't know if they changed that or if he was being truthful, but I'm pretty sure that that's a real thing. So the answer, the long answer is no, nothing with a swastika, but I do have, and honestly, that would likely freak me out. But I do have a two long bayonets, German bayonets from World War II, one with a missing point that are totally unmarked. And one of them was bought in Vienna and one of them was bought in the Czech Republic. So I think they were German and used, but so it's cool to have a lot of these kind of old artifacts. But if you're at all spooky about them or superstitious, like, it's not it might not be the right thing to collect. Dion Page says, gotta go, everyone, but before I do, go stab, chops, and slice that button. Dion Page, I thank you, sir. I always appreciate it, man. You have a good weekend and enjoy the rest of this fine evening. Razorback says, yet you can still paint the Japanese rising sun on your drift car. Makes no sense at all. Yeah, not much does. Loyal Group says the Down Under Bowie suffers a lot of internet hate. However, it is a really fun knife for around the campfire, and we'll have campers fighting to use it to prep wood spikes for s'mores. That's hilarious. Yeah, it seems like a pretty capable thing. I can see how it gets a lot of hate, but who cares? Who cares? Shane says he clearly didn't know where he was, but he knows now. My heart is still racing. I bet it is, man. You probably just had a serious adrenaline dump if you had to walk out there with a persuader and get serious with someone. And Shane, I don't know Shane well, but I know Shane well enough to know that, I'm sure you don't enjoy having to do something like that on one hand, but on the other hand, I damn well know that I would take you seriously, and not just for a persuader you might have in your hand, So glad you're good, and I'm glad to hear that you're back in and safe. Just keep your eyes peeled and the door locked. All I need is knives and coffee, says Jim. This is one of Jim's latest designs here. I love it because it's true. All I need is knives, coffee, and my family, we'll say. And I'll extend that out to all you knuckleheads. No, but knives and coffee are two of my like favorite things. I'm not talking about people or places, but things, man. I love coffee. I love knives. And this one right here, this is so cool. This is so cool. And that you can buy it on Amazon is very cool too. Sanchito 209, Luis, good to have you here, Luis. Ever tried a Manix XL? Just ordered one. Yes, I have. And actually, we have two people who tonight have been commenting that they were carrying those. Yes, I love it. I had one and I got rid of it because I wanted something else more. And that's one of those knife sale experiences that I wish, I'd love to have that back in my Spyderco sub collection. But they're awesome. The one thing I did do was get a deep carry pocket clip for that knife, and it didn't affect the ergonomics in a negative way, and it really did. Well, it set the knife a little deeper in pocket. It does have quite a bit coming over the pocket, if I remember correctly. But it's an awesome knife, and you'll love it. And it's pretty fidgety too, if that's a thing. If that's a thing that interests or concerns you. So let me while we're here, let me show you some of the knives that I've been liking. $60 for that sow catcher. Yeah, yeah, yep. It's pretty sweet. It is pretty sweet. And I gotta say, watch the Scruggs video with him take it, chopping with it. And that that's what actually got me interested. Edgy American says, I kept telling him to leave, but he just stood there until I went out there and scared him and me both. That wasn't how I imagined that scenario. Until I went out there and scared him and me both. That's interesting how you say that wasn't how I imagined the scenario, because I have, I'm sure we have all imagined certain scenarios. I used to have the fight scenario all the time. This is what I'm going to do. And the one time I ever had to use any martial arts, it was not what I was thinking I would do. And it was way more direct, and, it was good and it worked, but yeah, not how I imagined it going. And yeah, what do you do when someone is unresponsive, or someone is crazy? Like, we used to live right outside of, and when I say crazy, I don't mean someone suffering from mental health issues. I mean someone who's gone around the bend, if you will. We used to live right by Bellevue Hospital in New York City, which is known for its psychiatric ward, and they would let people out all the time, and they would be on our block. And you realize very quickly that you cannot argue with someone like that. You just have to somehow negotiate, trying to get the guy off your lawn. Man, that sucks. When you say you scared you both, do you mean like he was in the zone or somewhere far off in his own head and you came out and startled him, or he was afraid for his life? I'm curious. Yeah. So here's one. Yeah, I was just scarier than I would imagine. Not how I thought I'd react. That's another thing. That fight or flight, we don't know. We don't know how we're going to react until we react. You could be, well, I'm sure it helps when you're battle hardened and that kind of thing. But they say, or at least in a book I read called Unthinkable, it was basically saying your fight or flight is your main conflict instinct, and you really don't know how you're going to react to something until it happens. And Shane, could have just stayed inside, and he didn't. And man, that takes some bravery. It takes some courage to do something like that. Um, I got to say, for stuff like that, now I'm really happy to, among many other things, to have some of these blinding lights. no one wants to be shot in the face with blinding light, and it could just give you an advantage, in certain situations, and also could save you from having to use these things here. Heaven forbid. Let me show you one of these things here. This is new to me, and I feel like it's relatively new. This is the Viking by Petrified Fish, and I love this thing. To me, I keep thinking of this as more of a Japanese knife than a Viking knife, but it is a 100% straight back knife. So if you rest it against something flat, you'll see that it is totally straight across the spine of the blade and the top of the handle. And man, is that a thin and slicey blade. It is crazy thin, and oh man, I really like it. It's got a little bit of fuller that with my right hand here. Let me do this right here. With my right hand, I can kind of catch the fat of my middle finger and deploy it, or it's got a front flipper, and very, very nice. I really like that color of micarta. It's not that typical. It's not your typical OD green, olive drab green. It is more of a forest green. So it's got a little bit more blue in it. It's a richer. It's like what your Jaguar XKE is colored. It's a little more of that than your Desert Range Rover. I like Petrified Fish just putting their branding on the pivot. I really, really like that. And then no other writing at all on this plate. Wait, no. It says K110 and some other word right in front of it that I can't read. It's so small. It says K110. Let's see if we can even get it close enough to... Right there. You can see there's some writing there. So K110 analogous to D2. Excuse me. European D2, if you will. Very nice sharpening notch or sharpening choil situation. Set up a little bit like the Sebenza 21 or the SOCOM Elite with just a slope going all the way up to the handle. You can basically sharpen all the way up this because of where the plunge grind is. You could sharpen all the way up that blade if you were to use it like that. I've been using this one quite a bit in the last couple of days since I got it, and man, it's a fun one to play with. It's nice and fidgety, but not overly so. Your options are limited to either the front flipper. Sorry, my left hand is just not very good with it. The front flipper or the fuller. And the fuller you can slow roll a little bit, and you can flip it out with your middle finger. But so to me, kind of Japanese. What do you think? Is this more of a Japanese knife, or is that emulating some sort of Viking knife that I'm just unaware of? Curious. Yeah, Petrified Fish. They do a very, very nice knife, very nice folder. This one here, then this new one that I'm talking about is different in that it's got inset liners, so there are pockets milled out on the inside of these micarta scales, and inside them are thin liners. Like, look at how thin the liner lock is on this knife by comparison compared to the Victor, which has slightly proud thick liners and a thick liner lock, and it's heavier altogether. What's the blade length on that bad boy? That's 3.6 inches. So it is a nicely sized. Here, let me get something that you'll know for reference. Here it is with the Manix 2. So yeah, 3.6 inches. It's a nice size. It's a good size. And man, great in this sort of reverse grip. It's got that nice curved handle, very comfortable in hand, somewhat neutral. Ugh, front flipper. I hear you. But this one is a good front flipper and an easy one. And you have that fuller, so you don't necessarily have to use it as a front flipper. Honestly, when I picked this up, so far. I've been going here. Like, I want this to be a regular flipper. I feel like it would be a good flipper. Darth Vapor says, well, hey, Darth Vapor, good to have you with us here. He says, one knife forever. Does this include apocalypse type scenarios or just EDC? Well, realistically speaking, we'll go with apocalypse scenarios. No, I'm just kidding. It could be whatever you want. Like for me, for instance, tonight, this very night, this is the one knife I would choose. And I've got a lot of really great knives, and many of them sentimental. But the only thing I'm excluding right now are knives chosen for their sentimentality, because I have many of those, and it would be hard to choose if that were the parameter. But this is just the knife I've used the most for the widest variety of things, I would say, from the hardest use to, not so hard use. But this thing has been steadfast for years and years, and I just think it would keep going. So right now, in this moment, that's what I would choose. Bladetastic says, Japanese Quaken. Yes, I agree. That's what I think this thing looks like. More of a Japanese Quaken than a Viking anything. But again, I don't know everything about Vikings. As a matter of fact, I know very little about Vikings. Loyal Group said Japanese, maybe. For me, that's a holy stabby Batman folder. Yeah, it is. It is quite stabby. I have no desire for any front flipper, says Shane. Even okay. Let me ask you this, Shane, and also who just said ugh front flipper? You'll know who you are. So what if you see the knife and it's open like this and you like it? Oh, Michael, that's right. What if you see the knife and you like it and you're like, yeah, that looks incredibly compelling. It's a beautiful design. I love the design. Also looks very useful for all of my purposes, and that my micarta handle looks neutral but comfortable. And what if it hits all the notes and then it's folded and then you see that front flipper, and that you have other options, but that there is a front flipper there? What do you do then? Is the front flipper a deal breaker? It looks great open. I agree. Is it a deal breaker though? Wait, I wasn't considering an apocalypse situation. Let's stick to a non-apocalypse, because then we're getting, then kind of we'd all want swords and machetes and stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Razorback says, anyone have any suggestions for a knife that's similar to a 5.5-inch cold steel talwar, but titanium frame lock or even liner lock? Closest thing I've found so far is the Max Ace Rock. Bastinelli, if you're willing to spend some dough, the Bastinelli Big Dragotac is awesome. And I think it's like 4.75 inches or 5 inches in blade length. It's a broad, bellied Warncliffe. It is such an awesome knife. And it's a titanium frame lock. Check that one out. You might like that. Robert Brancheski says, what are your thoughts on the Blackjack Effingham? I think they're good. I like Blackjack, the ones that are expensive. The Blackjacks that you're going to spend a lot of money on are good. They're made by Bark River Knives, and Mike Stewart of Bark River Knives, the guy who started Bark River Knives, started Blackjack years ago and has maintained some of the brand. I know for years it was sold after Mike Stewart left. It was sold to a Japanese company and then a Chinese company, and they were making a lot of crap. But he has gotten, I don't know if he's gotten the entire brand back, but he's gotten some knives that he's putting out, and they're phenomenal. So yes, good. I like them. Loyal Group says, Trailmaster, baby, just got mine in 3V. Awesome. This is in, what is this? Carbon 5? Carbon V? Carbon 5, Carbon V. I've had this thing for a long time. And yeah, this just takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Anyone out there remember that? Ned Knives, good to see you here, Ned. One knife for the rest of my life would be the first knife I made, which is a small EDC drop point blade, 01 tool steel, brass pins, and strawberry guava scales. That sounds awesome. That's a great answer. That's a great answer. You know what went into it. You know what it can handle, probably. Shane says, I buy a different knife because I don't want to support the front flipper fad. Yeah. Yeah, it's like don't encourage them, right? And you buy the knife and it encourages, oh, they like the front flipper. Let's give them another one. Okay. This time we'll make it green. Six Semper Tyrannis says, how about the CRKT ritual? I enjoy mine more than I should. I don't have it. And I gotta say, the looks of it in terms of the material choices, I love the blue bolsters and the ivory micarta, and but I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of upswept blades, and that is so extremely upswept that was kind of, I always kind of need an excuse not to get something, because my default is to get it, especially if it's a big, audacious folding knife, because not too many companies make them. I want to support the companies that do when they do, and but I have never gotten the ritual. Is that speed safe or assisted? I think it might be. Michael Morgan says, yep, like it until I saw it was a front flipper, and don't like the angled disappearing fuller. Oh, interesting. He doesn't like the angled disappearing fuller. I kind of like it. I also like how it looks on the spine of the blade. But I mean, again, these are just personal aesthetic just personal tastes. Very, very useful blade shape, that is for sure. Very nice blade. PJD says, forever fixed would be my cold steel Tonto, and my brother Marty, all right, that my brother Marty, may he rest in peace, gave me. Tonto is 32 years old and going strong. Okay, so PJD, my cold steel Tonto is the first knife. I mean, I've talked about it a lot. Maybe you haven't heard this, but it's like the first expensive knife I got. I got it in like 1987 or 88. And I've had that thing with me ever since, by my bedside. It's always been there. So I hear you, and plus your brother, your beloved brother gave it to you, so that of course adds like heaps and heaps of meaning to it. But yes, just in terms of the blade itself, also, what a great choice. That has been my knife all along. That has been the one that has always been by the bed. Acid Test Kid says, first pocket folder I got looked awesome to me. It arrived and it was a front flipper before I even knew it was what a front flipper was. Didn't love it any less, but that's just me. I'm weird. Probably not. Well, probably. We're all a little bit weird here, but a lot of Emersons, this is not one of them, but a lot of Emersons are incidental front flippers because this part of the tang protrudes enough that you can flip it off of that. And I think I chose the only one out of my collection to bring out that doesn't have that sort of feature. You beauty, cheers, says Razorback. Wanted one of those Thai Navajas you have, but Smoky Mountain Knife Works won't ship to Australia. You're talking one of these. This is the Night Horse by Dirk Pinkerton, and really they won't. Because Australia has some strict rules. That sucks. Does anyone ship to Australia this kind of thing? Maybe we can figure something out. Edgy American says, I should have assumed we meant a folder since this is the Knife Junkie. No. What do you mean assume a folder? I shouldn't have assumed we meant a folder. Oh, okay, I got you. Shouldn't have assumed. So I'm curious, do you still like your in-pocket fixed blade choice in the Spyderco enough? I've been loving, like I said, appendix carry, and sometimes like right now, I got pocket carry right here, this fixed blade in my pocket, and I love it. I love that sort of just pocket carry, and I know that you had that Spyderco enough for a while, So just curious if you're still liking it, Shane. Sanchito 209 says a front flipper has the benefit of no thumb studs or flipper tabs getting in the way of the cutting path. Personally, I like multiple deployments. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I didn't think about that with especially thumb stud getting in the way of the cutting path. Byron Kennedy says if we're talking only one folder, I'll go Cold Steel Recon 1 Spear Point in S35. A fine choice. A fine choice. Yeah, this just might be, well, this would be in the consideration. It would be a large Cold Steel folder if I had to go folder, probably. Wasn't Crocodile Dundee from Australia? Yes, I think he was. Yes, he was, most certainly. Yeah. Now I want that down under Bowie. Now that we've been talking about it. Michael Morgan says, depends on the apocalypse. Zombies equal katana. Yeah, I would go with personally, you got to go with what you know, right? And I would go with something shorter than a katana. I'd go with something like the barong on the wall, about 29 inches long, stem to stern, and but the thing you have with the katana is a little bit more standoff range, and that might be what you want. A little bit more range. BF says, also, my name is the last good job I had in the Army. Bradley Fighting Vehicle Gunner. Oh, my God, that's cool. Or I guess I shouldn't presume that it's cool, but you're saying that it's a good job. I think the Bradley Fighting Vehicle is a very cool thing. What kind of gun is that? Is that like a 20? What do they have? What do they have on top of that? What is the gun? James Moore says, I love a good front flipper or blade holes. Yeah, me too. Flippers are fine. If they don't interfere with the grip. Studs and discs, no thanks. I hear you on the discs. I think that's to me, it's certain kind of knives. Like I love them on the Emersons, and I love the flat plate discs on the Cold Steels because you can use them as waves. The 25 millimeter M242 and the tow missile launcher. Holy crap. The tow now, okay. All right. I remember seeing videos when I worked on a military show. Let's see. And an M240C in a coaxial MG roll. Is that a grenade launcher? I don't know my military equipment that well. I know that there's a belt-fed 40 millimeter grenade launcher, I think, that I've seen mounted on, but I don't know if it's on that or not. But wow, that's pretty cool. In any case, I love the hardware, and I like shooting an awful lot. Yeah. Michael Morgan says, why risk getting scratched or bit trying to stab one in the brain when you can just lob their whole head off at a safe distance? I like how you think. A pole arm, perhaps a pole axe would be best because you get a lot of leverage with the distance on the pole axe. Razorback says, yeah, Blade HQ and Knife Center do. They're perfectly legal here. Don't feel obliged, but if you're ever keen to help a brother out, I'll happily pay extra for your troubles. Well, email me and let's talk about it. We'll figure it out. Happy to. It is also a very cool knife, so you should have it. Spartan is awesome, says Michael Morgan. I agree. Spartan is awesome. The tow is a wired guided missile launcher. That's what I was going to ask. When I was working on the show Firepower, I remember seeing and using footage, and I think it was the tow, and it was wire guided, which to me, I was like, really? They still have wire guided stuff? But that's cool. The M240 is a 7.62 machine gun. That the Mark 19 is the 40 millimeter grenade launching machine gun. That's the one. Holy crap. Yeah, that's the one. To me, that just looks like, boy, you want to leave an impression? Get a grenade launching machine gun. That'll do it. That'll do it. I want to bring up two quick stories from Knife Life News. First one is just a heads up from Knives Ship Free. The Copus Elvia, Copus Designs and Ed Calderon collaboration knife. This is the fruit knife, the fruit knife used for Pakal style fighting. Well, they are back in stock at Blade at Knives Ship Free, and I believe that's the only place you can get these unless you go to Blade Show. And I know that they sell like hotcakes when they pop up, so check them out. And they've got they have 3 different blade finishes, as you can see here, and then 2 different blade shapes. Now, when I got mine, they just had this shape, and now they have the one with the cutaway scoop back here, which when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's awesome. I have to have it. And I was like, no, I don't. And yes, it looks cool, but so does this. You might notice I have some really beautiful purple ray skin and lacing on there in the Tsukamaki style of a Japanese wrap. And that is indeed correct, because I had Josh Mason of Bright for War Knives wrap this for me. I used to have paracord on here and other stuff just to widen the grip a little bit. And I thought, why not go all out? And I asked Josh Mason to do it, and he did it, and it turned out beautifully. And it makes this much easier to hold. I love this kind of wrap. You really get those peaks and valleys alternating from side to side, and it gives you such great grip. Those little finger grooves are just awesome. So, yep, these are back at Copus Design at Knives Ship Free. It's 154 cm and injection molded plastic. I mean, they really do have the build quality. They're very well made, but they feel kind of like very, very well made cheap kitchen knives. And that's kind of the point. This is based on the fruit knife idea, but just wickedified, So go check those out at Knives Ship Free if you've been looking for one. I can't believe you helped produce Firepower. I watched that show on Military Channel faithfully. Great show. Yeah. I was the producer for the last 2 seasons of that show. That was awesome and a lot of fun. And yeah, man. Wow, that was a cool show. Great to work on. That's awesome, Bob, says PJD. It's in my nightstand also. Original sheath, mine too. I've been trying to get an old stock original sheath to replace it because my thing is about to fall off. I bought another one 10 years ago to keep it company. Marty got 2 of them in 89, but one is MIA, sadly. 89, that's about the time I got mine, right around when I graduated. Michael Morgan says grenade launching machine gun might be the coolest 4 words ever used together. I can't agree more with you, Michael Morgan. Speaking of cool war weapons, have you seen this Hellfire missile that they use for assassinations that doesn't have an explosive charge? It has 6 freaking sword blades that come out. It's really cool. Okay, so let's use a Sharpie as an example. So this is your Hellfire missile fired from, a Reaper or a drone of some sort, or I guess they still might launch them from helicopters too. But so this is the Hellfire missile, and when it's coming down on your caravan or on your, on your motorcade, and it knows it can be steered to the back portion of the Range Rover that you're in to kill you specifically and probably the people all directly around you. These blades come out, 6 of them all around the missile come out, whoosh, pointing like perpendicular to the shaft. And it just comes down and just fucks up everything underneath it. I was just reading about it not too long ago. I gotta say, missiles are cool, but I'm fascinated by the kinetic type of missiles. We have some missiles that we use to shoot other missiles down, and some of those are just purely kinetic. They go up there and knock them, just like hit them and knock them out. They don't explode. Some of them explode and spray like shotgun bits of debris at at the target, and that takes them out. But there are some things that we just fire at other very, very fast things and just hit them like pool balls. It's amazing to me. But yeah, if you want, look up the Hellfire missile with the swords in it. It'll blow your mind. It's amazing. All right. Lastly, Knife Life news. I just want to show you Justin Lundquist's fixie version, his fixed blade version of the Feist, a classic modern. I don't want to call it a classic, but an instant classic kind of knife, a knife that everyone loved, the Feist, and it's got a couple of different iterations. Kaiser, right? Kaiser Feist. Well, anyway, these are custom versions of his Feist in fixed blade dress. I think they look so cool. I think both of them are just beautiful. I like them way better than the folders, and maybe that's just the state of mind I'm in these days, but God, I love those blades. I think the blades on those are really nice. And then they have the really cool neutral kind of squared off handle. These are available from him, and I'm not sure how, let's see. Excuse me. Yeah, they will be. You can be on his web list, on his email list. My gosh, it's not coming out smoothly. You can be on his email list, and he will email you when these drop. But I think they look cool. I would get the one with the fuller, probably. What do you think? All right, people. Well, it's been real. I've been enjoying chatting with you all on this Thursday night. I'm not sure if I have any really great plans, but I'm excited for this weekend. Have a good night, says Have a Knife Day, and have a Knife Friday. I will do you one better, sir. Have a knife weekend, and can't wait to see videos on your new Bowie purchase. That'll be awesome. Take care, sir. Have a good one. And yeah, so we will be I'll watch tomorrow. Let's see. I did a couple of close-up videos, so tomorrow I believe I have my Jack Wolf Knives Big Bro close-up. Good night, everyone, says BVF Gunner. Good to have you here, man. And interesting and great chatting with you. Have a good weekend. Loyal Group, loved being here. Loved having you here, Loyal Group. Join us again next week. Byron Kennedy, always a pleasure, sir. Happy. He says, thanks, Bob, Jim, and have a great weekend, junkies. Well, you too, Byron. I don't know where I came up with happy, but maybe you just make me happy, sir. So have a good one. Acid Test Kid says, good night, everyone, and take it easy. Acid Test Kids, you take it easy too, man. Have a great weekend. Michael Morgan, always a pleasure. Thanks, Bob and Jim. And don't forget about that machine gun, grenade launching machine gun. If anything gets you down this weekend, just think of those 4 words. BVF Gunner says, likewise, see you next week. Awesome, man. We'll see you here next week. And also join us on Sunday, and we'll see you all here. All right, for Jim working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying until next time, people, please don't take dull for an answer.